Welcome. I'm Daniel, and this is Horror Tales. Today we're delving into mysterious stories that'll send shivers down your spine. No more delays. Let's dive right into the heart of the unknown. The night was dark and stormy as Mike, Sarah, Jake and Lisa drove to the old mansion on the outskirts of town. They had heard stories about the place, how it was haunted by the ghosts of a family that had died there in a mysterious fire. They thought it would be fun to check it out and maybe find some clues to the mystery. They parked their car near the gate and walked towards the house. The wind howled and the lightning flashed, illuminating the decrepit structure. They pushed open the door and entered the foyer. It was dusty and cobwebbed, with portraits of stern-looking people on the walls. They felt a chill in the air and a sense of dread. "Wow, this place is creepy," Sarah said, clutching Mike's arm. "Come on, don't be scared," Mike said, trying to sound brave. "It's just an old house. There's nothing here that can hurt us." "Are you sure?" Jake asked, looking around nervously. "I heard that this place is cursed and that anyone who enters will never leave alive." "That's just a bunch of nonsense," Lisa said, rolling her eyes. "There's no such thing as curses. Let's go explore and see what we can find." They split up and went to different rooms. Mike and Sarah went to the living room, Jake went to the kitchen, and Lisa went to the basement. They searched for anything interesting, but found nothing but dust and decay. Lisa was the first to find the book. It was lying on a table in a corner of the basement. It was leather-bound and had strange symbols on the cover. She picked it up and opened it. It was full of handwritten pages with more symbols and diagrams. She couldn't read any of it, but she felt a strange attraction to it. She flipped through the pages until she came to one that had a large circle with 4 smaller circles inside it. Each smaller circle had a word written in it: lupus, vampirus, mortuus, and magus. She didn't know what they meant, but she felt a sudden urge to say them out loud. She cleared her throat and read the words in a loud voice: lupus, vampirus, mortuus, magus. As soon as she said the last word, the book glowed and a blast of energy shot out of it, hitting her in the chest. She screamed and dropped the book. She felt a surge of pain and then a strange sensation. She looked at her hands and saw that they were changing. Her skin turned pale and her nails grew long and sharp. Her eyes turned black and her hair turned white. She felt a power coursing through her veins and a hunger in her stomach. She had become a witch. She didn't know what had happened, but she knew that she had to get out of there. She ran up the stairs and headed for the door. She didn't care about her friends. She only cared about herself. Meanwhile, Mike and Sarah were in the living room when they heard Lisa's scream. They looked at each other and ran to the basement. They saw the book on the floor and the circle on the page. They didn't know what it was, but they felt a curiosity to read it. They picked up the book and read the words in a low voice: lupus, vampirus, mortuus, magus. As soon as they said the last word, the book glowed and a blast of energy shot out of it, hitting them in the chest. They screamed and dropped the book. They felt a surge of pain and then a strange sensation. They looked at each other and saw that they were changing. Mike's skin turned furry and his teeth grew long and sharp. His eyes turned yellow and his ears pointed. He felt a rage boiling in his heart and a hunger in his stomach. He had become a werewolf. Sarah's skin turned cold and her veins turned blue. Her eyes turned red and her fangs protruded. She felt a thirst burning in her throat and a lust in her eyes. She had become a vampire. They didn't know what had happened, but they knew that they had to get out of there. They ran up the stairs and headed for the door. They didn't care about their friends, they only cared about themselves. Jake was in the kitchen when he heard the screams. He wondered what was going on and went to the basement. He saw the book on the floor and the circle on the page. He didn't know what it was, but he felt a curiosity to read it. He picked up the book and read the words in a whisper: lupus, vampirus, mortuus, magus. As soon as he said the last word, the book glowed, and a blast of energy shot out of it, hitting him in the chest. He screamed and dropped the book. He felt a surge of pain, and then a strange sensation. He looked at himself and saw that he was changing. His skin turned grey and his flesh rotted. His eyes turned white and his mouth drooled. He felt a numbness in his mind and a hunger in his stomach. He had become a zombie. He didn't know what had happened, but he knew that he had to get out of there. He ran up the stairs and headed for the door. He didn't care about his friends. He only cared about himself. The four of them reached the door at the same time and tried to open it, but it was locked. They pulled and pushed, but it wouldn't budge. They realized that they were trapped in the house and that they had to find another way out. They also realized that they were not alone. They saw each other and recognized their friends, but they also saw their enemies. They saw the creatures that they feared the most and that they had become. They felt a mix of emotions: fear, anger, hatred, and desire. They wanted to kill and they wanted to live. They attacked each other with claws, teeth, and magic. They fought for their survival and for their souls. They fought for the night and for the dawn. They fought for the curse and for the cure. They fought until only one was left standing. Thanks for diving into the unknown with me on Horror Tales. If you enjoyed the stories, hit like and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious. This is Daniel, signing off.